Some figures are remembered for what they did. Others are remembered for what people believe they foresaw. Nostradamus belongs to the second category. His name has become synonymous with prediction, disaster, mystery. But prophecy, in his time, was not simply about seeing the future. It was about surviving the present. In 16th century Europe, words were dangerous. Religious conflict, political tension, and fear of heresy shaped what could be said and how. So when Nostradamus wrote, he did not write clearly. He wrote in fragments, symbols, obscure verses that concealed as much as they revealed, not because he wished to confuse, but because clarity could be punished. Nostradamus was born in 1503 in Saint-Rémy-de-Provence. His family had Jewish origins, but converted to Christianity a generation earlier, likely under pressure. This background placed him between identities, never entirely separate from either. As a child, he was educated not only in Latin and classical studies, but also in astronomy and mathematics. Less commonly noted is his early exposure to folk remedies and herbal medicine, knowledge passed through family tradition. Before prophecy, there was observation. Before prophecy, Nostradamus worked as a physician during outbreaks of the bubonic plague. He rejected some common methods like bloodletting, favouring cleanliness, fresh air, and herbal remedies. He travelled widely, treating the sick, but not all could be saved. During one outbreak, he lost his wife and children, a loss that followed him long after medicine. Despite his efforts, Nostradamus' medical career did not remain stable. He faced criticism from established physicians and institutions like the University of Montpellier, where he had studied. At one point, he was reportedly expelled or forced to leave after being accused of practicing as an apothecary, a profession considered beneath physicians. This distinction mattered at the time. Medicine was not only about healing, it was about status. His unconventional methods and outsider position made him suspect. Eventually, he moved away from formal medicine, not entirely by choice. After years of travel, Nostradamus settled in Salon de Provence. There his work began to shift. He published annual almanacs, popular texts containing weather predictions, agricultural advice, and forecasts. These were practical documents, widely read by ordinary people. They brought him recognition, but they also opened the door to something else, a reputation for foresight, one that would grow far beyond the almanacs themselves. Contrary to popular belief, Nostradamus did not claim to see the future in visions alone. His methods combined astrology, classical texts, and historical patterns. He studied cycles, planetary alignments, past events repeating in altered forms. Less widely discussed is his use of deliberate obscurity. He wrote in a mixture of French, Latin, Greek, and invented phrasing. He scrambled chronology. He avoided clear names, not just for mystery, but for protection. Clear predictions could be interpreted as political threats. In 1555, he published his most famous work, Les Prophéties, a collection of nearly 1,000 quatrains, 4-line verses grouped into centuries. They did not follow a timeline. They did not explain themselves. They invited interpretation and reinterpretation. What is less known is that many quatrains drew heavily from earlier historical events, battles, plagues, political upheavals. Rather than predicting entirely new futures, he often reshaped the past into symbolic language. Nostradamus' reputation eventually reached Catherine de' Medici. She invited him to the French court. Concerned for her children and the stability of the monarchy, she sought guidance. Nostradamus cast horoscopes for the royal family. He even made statements later interpreted as predicting the death of King Henry II of France. Whether coincidence, interpretation, or design, his influence at court elevated his status. He was no longer just a writer. He was a figure consulted by power. Despite his reputation, Nostradamus remained cautious. He avoided direct political alignment. He softened his language when addressing dangerous topics, and he often framed his predictions as possibilities rather than certainties. He understood something essential. Prophecy was not only about being right, it was about not being punished for being wrong. His ambiguity became his protection and his legacy. Nostradamus died in 1566. His writings never settled into one meaning. Readers continued to reinterpret his quatrains, linking them to wars, disasters, and revolutions. His legacy rests not only on what he wrote, but on how his words could change. A language that adapted with every future that read it. Some stories fade, others wait to be heard.